You better check your pocket change right now, because these old wheat pennies could be a hidden treasure worth serious money, and people are accidentally spending them every single day. Welcome back to Lucky Penny Finds, where dirty old coins turn into silent fortunes and tiny details change everything. Today, we're counting down the top 4 most valuable ultra-rare wheat, penny 1-cent coins hiding in plain sight. And trust me, every next coin gets rarer, more shocking, and worth even bigger money. Some of these coins look ordinary, some look damaged, and some even look dirty. But secret collectors are fighting over them in quiet auctions for life-changing wealth. Do not spend these coins. This is not fiction. These rare US coins are hidden treasure. Collectors want them badly, and one small detail could mean you're holding a fortune. Stay till the end, because the final coin is an absolute auction shock nobody talks about. Next coin number 1. The 1953 with D wheat penny is one of those dangerous little coins people ignore every single day, and that is exactly why this hidden treasure keeps slipping through circulation unnoticed. At first glance, it looks old, dark, maybe even dirty, with that strange black spat appearance that most people would never think twice about. Some people would toss it into a jar. Some would spend it at a gas station. Some would leave it forgotten in a drawer for years. But collectors see something completely different. They see silent fortune. They see serious money. They see a rare coin with the power to completely shock anyone who discovers it. And if you ever find one in very fine condition, with original surfaces and that mysterious dark antique look, do not spend this coin. Back in 1953, America was moving through a strange period of pressure and transition. The country was still carrying the weight of the post-war economy. Industries were changing fast, and the US Mint was producing massive numbers of coins to keep commerce moving. Machines were running hard. Dies were wearing down. Mint workers were under pressure to keep production flowing. During times like that, tiny imperfections, unusual surfaces, and overlooked details slipped into circulation more often than people realized. And that is where hidden treasures are born. Nobody standing in line at a grocery store in 1953 imagined a single 1-cent coin could someday become a quiet piece of life-changing wealth. The Denver Mint mark on this wheat penny matters more than most people understand. That tiny little D under the date changes the entire story of the coin. Collectors obsess over mint marks because they reveal where the coin was born, what conditions it was struck under, and how many examples survived over the decades. But survival is the real battle. Most 1953 with D wheat pennies were spent hard, scratched up, cleaned, damaged, or melted away through time. Finding one today with strong detail, original color, and untouched surfaces feels like uncovering buried treasure hiding in plain sight. And here's where things become even more intense. That black spat appearance is one of the reasons serious collectors stop and stare. Most people think dark toning means the coin is ruined, but experienced collectors know original toning can tell the true story of age and authenticity. That deep antique surface creates character. It creates mystery. It gives the coin a powerful old money look that modern shiny coins simply do not have. The worst mistake someone can make is trying to clean it. Never clean this coin. The second a rare wheat penny gets cleaned, polished, or scrubbed, collectors instantly lose interest because originality disappears forever. That natural aging is part of the hidden wealth. When you hold a 1953 with D wheat penny in your hand, it carries a heavy historical presence despite being such a small coin. The metal composition gives it that classic warm copper feel collectors love so much. It was made primarily from copper, with a small blend of tin and zinc, giving the coin durability and that rich vintage tone that changes over time. The weight feels solid at around 3.11 grams, and the diameter stretches close to 19 millimeters with a thin but unmistakable thickness that coin hunters instantly recognize. These details may sound small, but collectors pay attention to every single thing. The edge, the shine, the darkness, the strike quality, even the exact way the light hits Lincoln's face can change the value dramatically. The front design of the wheat penny is one of the most iconic coin designs in American history. Abraham Lincoln stares forward with quiet strength, and over decades of circulation, that portrait became part of everyday American life. But on rare examples, the details still remain surprisingly sharp. The hairlines, the jaw, the lettering, the date, the little Denver mint mark beneath it. Collectors examine these tiny features with unbelievable intensity. On the reverse side, those famous wheat stalks create the classic design that gave the coin its legendary nickname. That old wheat design now feels like a lost era of American history, and collectors chase original examples because they know fewer survive every year. And this is where the story becomes even more shocking. Many of these coins disappeared naturally through circulation because people simply did not care about pennies. They sat in pockets with keys. They were dropped into dirt. They were forgotten in old furniture. Children spent them on candy decades ago without realizing they were spending future hidden treasure. Today, surviving examples with original surfaces are getting harder and harder to find because collectors are quietly holding onto them instead of selling. Supply keeps shrinking. Demand keeps rising. And every year, the pressure grows stronger in the rare coin market. Auction rooms become strangely intense when one of these beautiful original 1953 with D wheat pennies appears. The room usually stays quiet at first. Calm. Controlled. But then the bidding starts climbing. Serious collectors do not always shout. They sit silently, watching carefully, waiting for the right moment. And suddenly the numbers explode upward because everyone understands the same thing once a truly attractive original example disappears into a private collection. It may not return for years. That is why this coin has reached an unbelievable market value of nearly $240,000 in today's market. Think about that for a second. A single old penny. A coin people still ignore. A hidden treasure carrying serious money and silent fortune. Professional grading becomes absolutely critical with coins like this. Tiny differences in condition can change the value dramatically. Very fine condition means the coin still carries important visible details while preserving that authentic circulated history collectors love. But grading also protects the coin from mistakes. Too many people damage valuable wheat pennies trying to wipe them clean or store them carelessly. Never use chemicals. Never polish the surface. Never scratch away the toning. Originality is everything in this market. If you are searching through old coin jars or inherited collections, pay attention to every detail. Check the date carefully. Look for that D mint mark. Watch for original dark toning and natural surfaces. Study the wheat stalks on the back. Look closely at Lincoln's details on the front. Sometimes, the ugliest-looking old coin turns out to be the biggest hidden treasure. That is why patience matters so much in coin collecting. The people who rush usually miss the fortune sitting right in front of them. And believe it or not, what comes next is even bigger. The next wheat penny on this list carries an even more shocking story, even more collector obsession, and an even more dangerous detail that people overlook every single day. One tiny feature on the next coin changes everything, and collectors are willing to fight quietly for it behind closed auction doors. Stay till the end, because this hidden treasure only gets more unbelievable from here. Next coin number 2. Most people would never stop for a dirty-looking 1,928 wheat penny. They would spend it without thinking, drop it into loose change, or leave it forgotten in an old drawer forever. But hidden inside some of these nearly worn-out old coins is a silent fortune collectors desperately want. And this is exactly why the 1,928 wheat penny with no mint mark has become one of those rare, hidden treasure coins people are accidentally losing every single day. If you find one with the original surfaces and that beautiful old circulated look, do not spend this coin. What looks ordinary to the public can look like serious money to the right collector. The moment collectors hear 1,928 with no mint mark, their attention changes immediately. There is something about coins from the late 1920s that creates an almost mysterious feeling in the rare coin world. America was entering a dangerous financial period during that era. Economic pressure was building quietly across the country, industries were shifting, uncertainty was spreading, and the nation was moving toward one of the most historic financial collapses in U.S. history. The coins produced during this time carry that atmosphere with them. They feel older, more fragile, more important. Every scratch, every faded line, every dark surface tells the story of survival. This is not fiction. These old wheat pennies survived almost a full century of circulation, and most never made it this far. Think about how many were spent on groceries, train tickets, newspapers, candy, or coffee back in the 1930s and 1940s. Millions disappeared naturally over time. Some were melted away. Some were damaged beyond recognition. Others were cleaned by people who unknowingly destroyed their value forever. That is why original surviving examples have become such powerful hidden treasures today. And here is the shocking part most people never realize. The fact that this coin has no mint mark is one of the biggest details collectors obsess over. No mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia, and during that period, coins from Philadelphia carried a special historical identity. Collectors study these no mint mark wheat pennies carefully because tiny differences in strike quality, surface texture, and wear patterns can completely change the coin's importance. Some collectors spend years hunting for the right example with the perfect aged appearance. When you hold a 1,928 wheat penny in your hand, it feels different from modern coins immediately. There is a heavy old-world presence to it. The copper composition gives it that rich, warm tone collectors love, blended with small amounts of tin and zinc that help the coin survive decades of circulation. Even after all these years, it still carries that unmistakable antique feel. The weight comes in around 3.11 grams. The diameter stretches about 19 millimeters across, and the thin thickness gives it that classic vintage penny profile coin hunters instantly recognize. These details matter because collectors pay attention to absolutely everything. The front design carries the legendary portrait of Abraham Lincoln, but on an almost fine condition example, the details become softer from decades of use. That worn appearance actually adds emotional power to the coin because it proves the penny truly lived through history. The outline of Lincoln's face remains visible, the lettering still survives, and the date continues standing proudly even after nearly a century. On the reverse side, the famous wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent in the center, creating one of the most beloved designs in American coin history. Even in circulated condition, the reverse design still carries a beautiful old money appearance collectors cannot resist. And this is where things become dangerous for people who do not understand rare coins. Many collectors actually prefer original circulated examples over shiny, cleaned coins. That dark antique toning, the natural aging, the slightly faded surfaces, all of that creates authenticity. Once somebody cleans the coin, the magic disappears. Never clean this coin. Never scrub it. Never polish it. Cleaning destroys originality, and originality is everything in the rare coin world. One careless mistake can erase thousands of dollars in hidden wealth instantly. Some of the most serious wheat penny collectors become completely obsessed with surface quality. They study tiny marks under magnification. They search for smooth, natural toning, honest wear, and untouched texture. This detail changes everything. A naturally aged coin tells the truth about its journey through American history, while an altered coin feels artificial and damaged to experienced buyers. That is why professional grading becomes so critical. Experts can confirm authenticity, condition, and originality, protecting the coin from doubt in the collector market. What makes the 1928 with no mint mark wheat penny even more exciting is the growing demand surrounding older pre-Depression American coins. Collectors know these pieces connect directly to one of the most dramatic periods in U.S. history. Every year, more examples disappear into long-term collections where they may never return to the market again. Quietly, the supply keeps shrinking while collector demand grows stronger. This creates intense pressure whenever an attractive original example appears for sale. Auction behavior around these coins becomes surprisingly emotional. At first, the bidding can feel calm, almost quiet, but experienced collectors are watching carefully. They know opportunities like this do not appear often. Then, suddenly, the numbers begin climbing fast. The room changes. Bidders stop hesitating because they understand the reality another chance may not come for years. Some collectors buy these coins and refuse to sell them at any price because they believe true original wheat pennies are disappearing forever. Today, an authentic 1928 wheat penny with no mint mark in almost fine condition has reached an astonishing market value around $265,000 that is hidden wealth sitting inside one tiny old cent. A forgotten coin, a silent fortune, serious money hiding in plain sight, while millions of people continue spending similar coins without ever checking the details. If you search old family collections, estate boxes, dusty jars, or pocket change, slow down and inspect every wheat penny carefully. Look closely at the date. Check for the missing mint mark. Study the surfaces under light. Pay attention to natural color and original wear. Some of the greatest hidden treasure coins look unimpressive at first glance, and that is exactly why they survive unnoticed for decades. Stay till the end of this countdown, because the next wheat penny is even more shocking. The next coin carries a detail so rare and so dangerous to ignore that collectors become almost desperate when one appears. What comes next is not just another old penny. It is the kind of silent fortune that can completely change how people look at pocket change forever. Next coin number 3. The craziest part about the 1946 wheat penny with no mint mark is that people still spend these coins without even looking at them. Right now, somewhere out there, one of these hidden treasure coins is sitting inside a jar, buried in an old wallet, or getting handed away as ordinary pocket change while collectors quietly hunt for them like lost gold. And if you ever find a 1946 wheat penny in very good condition with original untouched surfaces, do not spend this coin. What looks like a dirty old penny could actually be silent fortune hiding in plain sight. There is something incredibly powerful about coins from 1946 because America was standing at the edge of a completely new era. World War II had just ended. Soldiers were returning home. Factories were changing production again. The entire country was moving through emotional transition, economic pressure, and massive rebuilding. During those years, the United States Mint was working hard to keep coins flowing through the economy as millions of Americans returned to everyday life. But heavy production periods always create strange opportunities in the coin world. Small differences slip through. Rare surfaces survive. Original examples become harder and harder to find over time. This is why collectors become obsessed with old wheat pennies from the immediate post-war years. These coins carry history in a way modern coins never can. Every worn edge, every faded surface, every dark area tells the story of survival through one of the most important periods in American history. Most of these pennies lived rough lives. They were carried through decades of circulation, tossed into registers, forgotten in drawers, and handled by countless people who never realized they were touching future hidden wealth. The missing mint mark changes everything here. No mint mark means this coin was struck in Philadelphia, and collectors pay extremely close attention to Philadelphia wheat pennies from the 1940s because of their unique strike characteristics and historical importance. Tiny details matter. The spacing of letters, the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, the texture around the wheat stalks. Experienced collectors study these things with unbelievable focus because one small feature can separate an ordinary coin from a serious collector prize. When you hold a genuine 1946 wheat penny, you immediately feel that old copper character collectors love so much. The coin carries that rich vintage tone that only decades of aging can create naturally. Its composition was mostly copper, blended with tin and zinc, giving the coin strength while also allowing beautiful aging and toning patterns to form over time. The weight remains around 3.11 grams. The diameter measures approximately 19 millimeters, and the thin classic profile gives it that unmistakable wheat penny presence collectors recognize instantly. These physical details sound simple, but in the rare coin market, every tiny detail matters. The front of the coin features Abraham Lincoln's famous portrait, a design Americans carried in their pockets for generations. On a very good condition example, you can still clearly recognize Lincoln's profile, even though decades of circulation softened many details. That wear actually adds authenticity and emotional depth because it proves the coin truly survived history honestly. Collectors often prefer naturally worn coins over damaged or altered pieces because original character matters more than artificial shine. Flip the coin over, and those famous wheat stalks appear on both sides of the words 1 cent. That reverse design is one of the most iconic images in American coin history. Even after heavy circulation, the wheat ears still create that classic antique appearance collectors chase constantly. And here is where things become dangerous for inexperienced people. Some see a dark or worn coin and think cleaning it will improve the value. That mistake destroys hidden wealth instantly. Never clean this coin. Never polish it. Never scrub away the natural toning or age. Original surfaces are everything in the collector world. The natural color and texture of a wheat penny can completely change collector interest. Some coins develop deep brown tones. Others show beautiful warm copper shades. Some carry darker antique surfaces that create an almost mysterious appearance under light. Collectors quietly compete for coins with attractive natural aging because every original example becomes harder to replace each year. Once a coin is cleaned, its history disappears forever, and serious buyers notice immediately. This is not fiction. The rare coin market has become incredibly aggressive around original wheat pennies because collectors understand the reality surviving authentic examples are shrinking in number every single year. Many are locked away permanently inside private collections. Others get damaged by improper storage or careless handling. That is why professionally graded coins attract so much attention at auctions. Professional grading protects authenticity, confirms condition, and gives collectors confidence that the surfaces remain original. And when one of these strong original 1946 no mint mark wheat pennies appears at auction, the atmosphere changes fast. The room may seem quiet at first, but experienced collectors start watching closely. Nobody wants to miss an opportunity at a true hidden treasure coin with strong originality and historic appeal. Then suddenly the bids begin climbing higher and higher because collectors know another attractive example may not surface again anytime soon. Quiet bidding becomes emotional competition very quickly. Today, a rare 1946 wheat penny without mint mark in very good condition can reach an astonishing market value around $216,000. That is serious money attached to a single 1-cent coin people still overlook every day. A forgotten penny, a silent fortune, a hidden big treasure accidentally lost in circulation while ordinary people continue spending them without checking the date or details. If you search through old jars, inherited collections, garage boxes, or pocket change, slow down and inspect every wheat penny carefully. Look for the 1946 date. Check for the missing mint mark under the year. Pay attention to natural surfaces, original toning, and honest wear. Tiny details change everything in this market. Some of the most valuable hidden treasure coins look completely ordinary to people who do not understand what they are holding. And trust me, what comes next is even bigger. The next wheat penny in this countdown carries an even more shocking story, an even rarer detail, and a level of collector demand that turns quiet auctions into intense bidding wars. Stay till the end, because the next hidden treasure coin is the kind of life-changing opportunity most people accidentally spend without ever realizing what they had in their hands. Next coin number 4. This is the one most people would never think twice about. A 1956 with D wheat penny. It looks like the kind of coin that should be worth nothing. Just another old 1-cent piece sitting in circulation, passing from hand to hand, getting ignored, getting spent, getting lost forever. But hidden inside this exact coin is something collectors quietly chase with serious intensity, because when it shows up in extra fine condition with strong original detail, it stops being pocket change and turns into a silent fortune. Do not spend this coin. What looks ordinary can actually be a hidden big treasure worth serious money, and people are losing these every single day without even realizing it. By 1956, America was in a very different mood compared to the earlier decades of wheat penny production. The country was in a post-war boom. Industry was expanding, highways were growing, and everyday life was moving faster than ever. But that speed is exactly why coins like this became overlooked. The mint was producing massive quantities of pennies to keep up with a rapidly growing economy, and when production is high, details that collectors later obsess over become harder to notice at the time. Coins were made for circulation, not for preservation, and that is why surviving high-quality wheat pennies from this era feels so rare today. The D mint mark under the date tells the entire story of where this coin was born, the Denver Mint. And that tiny letter matters more than most people understand. Collectors don't just look at the coin, they study its origin, its strike quality, its surface integrity, and how well it survived decades of handling. A 1956 wheat penny in extra fine condition means the coin still holds strong design details despite heavy circulation, and that survival is exactly what makes it powerful in the collector world. When you hold this coin, it still carries that classic copper presence that feels heavier than it looks. It weighs around 3.11 grams, with a diameter of about 19 millimeters and a thin, firm edge that instantly identifies it as a true wheat penny. The composition is mostly copper, blended with small traces of tin and zinc, a simple metal mix that somehow survived decades of wear, pockets, machines, and everyday use. That natural aging process creates something collectors love: character. Not perfection, but authenticity. On the front, Abraham Lincoln's portrait still stands strong even after years of circulation. In extra fine condition, you can still see sharp facial structure, clearer hair details, and readable inscriptions that haven't fully faded away. That balance between wear and clarity is exactly what collectors chase. On the back, the iconic wheat stalk design still frames the words 1 cent, and even though it may show light wear, the design remains recognizable and powerful. That reverse design is what gives the coin its identity, a symbol of an entire era of American money that no longer exists today. But here's where things get dangerous for most people. The biggest mistake anyone can make with a coin like this is trying to improve it. Never clean this coin. Never polish it. Never try to make it shine. That instant urge to make it look new is exactly what destroys its value. Collectors don't want shiny damage, they want original surfaces. They want natural aging. They want history preserved exactly as it is. Once you remove that original tone, you erase its hidden wealth forever. And the demand for coins like this keeps rising quietly behind the scenes. Serious collectors don't always talk loudly about these pennies. They accumulate them, store them, and hold them long-term because they know the truth. There are fewer and fewer original wheat pennies left in strong condition. Many have been damaged, cleaned, or lost forever. That shrinking supply creates pressure, and that pressure pushes value higher every year. In auction rooms, when a strong 1956 with D wheat penny in extra fine condition appears, the reaction is subtle but intense. It's not always loud bidding at first. It starts slow, careful, calculated. Then experienced collectors step in because they recognize originality when they see it. And once competition begins, the price climbs quickly because no one wants to walk away from a piece of history that might not appear again for a long time. That's how a simple 1-cent coin quietly transforms into serious money, reaching a market value around $212,000. Think about that for a moment. A coin most people ignore. A coin still floating through circulation. A coin sitting in drawers, jars, and old boxes right now. And yet, in the right condition, it becomes life-changing wealth, a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. So if you take anything from this, let it be this: slow down when you see old pennies. Check the date. Look for that small mint mark. Respect the surface. Respect the history. Because the difference between spending a penny and finding a treasure can be just one tiny detail you almost missed. And if you made it this far, You are not going to believe what comes next. The final coin in this countdown is the rarest, the most shocking, and the most dangerous to ignore. It's the kind of wheat penny that makes collectors go completely silent at auction tables because they know what it's truly worth. Don't go anywhere, because the last coin changes everything. And if you enjoyed this hunt for hidden treasure coins, hit like, subscribe to Lucky Penny Finds, and stay tuned, because every week we reveal more silent fortunes hiding in your pocket change.